Life is difficult, but how much of that difficulty actually comes from inside of our own mind? Confronting yourself is the process of figuring that out. How many of your flaws could be challenged and then turned into strength? What weaknesses and insecurities could you overcome if only you faced them head on? What fears are you avoiding? And maybe the hardest question, what lies are you telling yourself so that you can escape the truth? I found that there are three main reasons why people avoid the challenge of confronting themselves, even though that challenge ends with one of the most rewarding things that we can achieve in life. The first is unawareness. Some of us just don't realize that amidst the many distractions of the modern world, we can sit in silence with our thoughts and observe them. We can watch our own mind, understand how it works, and figure out why certain thoughts or impulses arise. The second is distraction. From the moment we're born, even until right now, the world floods us with experiences that constantly pull our attention outward rather than pushing it inward. For many, the only time we stop and reflect on anything is when we're forced to, and typically this is when something bad happens. Something like guilt, shame, remorse, or some kind of mistake tends to be the catalyst that forces us to sit down, think, and kind of recalibrate how our mind works and what our actions are. But the truth is that self-reflection doesn't have to be triggered by pain. We can just do so willingly. We just have to choose to. And the third reason is fear. We are simply afraid of what we might find if we look too closely into that mirror of the soul. We're afraid of the feelings that might surface, the truths that might be revealed that we're running from, and the changes that we would be forced to make once we reconciled that. So we avoid ourselves, even at the cost of our own peace. When we take up the task of confronting ourselves, we're building the deepest possible understanding of who we actually are. We are understanding who we are on a most core fundamental level. We see ourselves in the truest form with clarity. And that clarity allows us to eliminate a lot of the noise, the fear, the anxiety, and the insecurity that we carry inside. The things we like about ourselves, we begin to invest in. And when we invest in those things long enough, those qualities that we like end up being things that we actually love over time. And the things that we don't like about our lives, the negative qualities, flaws, habits, patterns of behavior, those can be dealt with and their impact becomes minimized over time. And in doing that, our best qualities get amplified and the qualities we don't like get minimized, and our overall experience of life becomes so much better. And this transformation doesn't stay hidden. It's not secret to just us. People around us can notice it too. When we organize the internal world of our mind, we naturally want to manifest that outward and organize the external world of our reality. When the mind is clear, life feels lighter, and the path to our goals is much easier to see. Less distractions, more momentum. Think about all the energy it takes to avoid a thought, to resist it, or suppress it. Now imagine letting that thought freely flow through your mind. Not trying to suppress it, but just observing it as it passes by. That shift itself makes life a little bit easier, but trying to avoid it or suppress it means it's going to be pushed back in the back of your mind, and eventually it will come to the front again. If the thought needs to be paid further attention to, you can choose to do so. And then once it is dealt with, suddenly, all of the energy you used to use to suppress the thoughts or resist or avoid them now becomes energy that's freed up to be spent on things you actually want or need to do in life. At first, confronting yourself can be very hard. It can even be scary. But each time you do it, it does get easier. Your mental clarity grows, your mind sharpens, and life at some point begins to feel like it's almost on easy mode. That doesn't mean that problems all of a sudden just disappear. They still happen. But when you're not weighed down by old fears, lies, or distractions, you can be present in the moment to deal with problems as they arise, rather than your mind having to repress one set of thoughts and deal with an incoming problem at the same time. All of the energy that you were using to resist or go against your own mind is now freed up, and you can move in the direction that you choose to move in life. Your mind begins to move in one cohesive direction rather than being in confrontation with itself or trying to move in two different directions. Your full attention is right here and ready to deal with whatever comes your way. Nothing in life worth having is going to come easy. It takes time, effort, a bit of bravery, and giving yourself a bit of grace to begin the journey. But on the other side of that fear is a life of peace, a mind of clarity, a sense of confidence, and the motivation to chase your dreams. If all that costs is a simple moment of fear, I'd say it's worth it. At least it has been for me. Until next time, always stay up to no good.